On a clear October evening in 1978, a young pilot took off alone from southern Australia. It was a short flight, routine, and it was expected to end before night fully settled in. Instead, the final minutes of that flight were recorded and then fell completely silent. It's midnight somewhere. Tonight, I have a story for you. Frederick Valentich was just 20 years old. He was a licensed pilot and he was very careful and also very methodical. And he was deeply interested in aviation. On October 21st, 1978, Frederick planned a night flight from Moorabbin Airport in Victoria to King Island, which is a route that crosses over the open water of Bass Strait. The weather was calm, the visibility was good, and there were no storm warnings. He was flying a Cessna 182, which for the time was a very reliable single-engined aircraft. Nothing about the flight suggested any sort of trouble. Now, Frederick departed Moorabbin at 6:19 p.m, and as the night settled in, he flew south away from the lights of the mainland. Below him was water, ahead of him was darkness, and at 7:06 p.m, Frederick radioed Melbourne Flight Service, and his voice seemed very, very calm. He reported seeing an object in the sky right above him. Now, at first, he described that it was moving quite slowly and then circling. And the object, he said, appeared to have lights that were green and metallic. And it was also moving in ways that, as a pilot, he couldn't really account for. Now, air traffic controllers checked the radar, and there was nothing seen in the area on the radar. And as the conversation between pilot and base continued, Frederick's tone started to change. Not in a panicked way, but in a way more focused way. He reported that the object was now passing over him and then returning and then hovering over him. And alarmingly, at one point, Frederick said that he believed it was not an aircraft. Frederick also stated that the object seemed to be playing games with his plane. The engine began running roughly, and then there was just a weird sound over the radio. 17 seconds of some type of metallic noise, and then nothing else. That was the last transmission ever received from Frederick Valentich. No distress call, no mayday, no explanation, and radar never picked the aircraft up again. Search teams were deployed across Bass Strait. Planes, ships, volunteers scanned the coastline. No wreckage was conclusively found. There was no body, there was no aircraft, the ocean remained completely empty. Now, in the days that followed, the recordings were reviewed and aviation experts analysed the exchange between Frederick and home base. And some suggested disorientation, others suggested mechanical failure, but no explanation accounted for every detail. The flight path, the description of the object that was flying along with Frederick, and also to the abrupt end, as well as the strange noise over the transmission. Very sadly, Frederick and his plane has never ever been found. Now, in the days that followed, some of the residents along the Victorian coastline reported seeing unusual and very unsettling lights in the sky on that same night that Frederick vanished. What unsettles investigators the most isn't what Frederick believed that he saw, it's what we know. A trained pilot, clear weather, a functioning aircraft, and a recorded final conversation, and then completely nothing. No confirmation of a crash, no trace on land or sea, just a voice that disappears mid-flight. So, on a calm night over Bass Strait, a young pilot vanished between the mainland and Tasmania. The airspace is still there, the water below is unchanged, and the final moments of that flight remain suspended in time. Recorded, but completely unresolved. If you like dark stories told at midnight, make sure you're subscribed because I drop new stories every single week. And until then, I'll see you at midnight.